So my parents have been working all day while I've been at work. They've done so much. Uh, I just let the dog out and I'm gonna go and see what they've done. Mom and I went and grabbed this dirt around my lunchtime. It's half a yard of dirt, which they put into the truck. And I asked them if they had any stones like this, because they had these two broken ones. And he was like, "You can have those." And I was like, "Do you have more?" And he's like, "No, those are free." And so he gave us 2 stones. So we just went and picked up a few more. So they put it's a sandy loam, which has a higher clay content, which I wanted to do that instead of, like rock, because if it's the same size, instead of being graded, it'll act less as a filter for water and more as an impermeable layer. So we've got the sandy loam, and then some of the drainage tubes, and it's just directing water away from the house. At some point I'll probably, trench in some drains or something, but for now this works because it'll keep water from going to the foundation. If you remember, I didn't do foundation work yet, and so I really don't want it to be getting wet down there. The drainage here on the side, some drainage tubes. It's just directing it away from the foundation. This tiny house has 7 gutter downspouts, which to me is just crazy. Welcome to my crib. I wanted to show you guys what's happening outside before it gets dark out. So let's go take a look what my parents and I got up to in the last week. So, starting with the grass, we took out the stump here and filled in, they filled in with mulch. I went with my mom to get the dirt. She moved the mulch to the back, got the dirt, she filled it in. She also put some topsoil over here where it was like a little bit lower. And you can tell that the splash blocks are back underneath the gutters. So I'm trying to figure out who the tree removal company was so they can come out and get rid of the rest of the stumps. So that is still in the to-do. We have not figured out the conundrum of the cleanouts and if this is a French drain or a sewer line. To me, it doesn't look like a sewer line. It is a 4-inch pipe, which is a household sewer line in the city of Austin. But there's 3 cleanouts. That's not common. That's not something the city would pay, to have 3 cleanouts on a sewer line. Actually, it'd be the house that paid because it's from the sewer line in. I don't think anybody would do that. It's also just PVC. It's not CPVC, which means it's not protected from the UV light, and it will break down in a couple of years, which to me screams it's kind of an amateur job. It was not designed and put in by professional. So I've still got to pop those open. Sewer lines are not pressurized, so it would be an easy thing to pop them open. I just haven't gotten to it yet. The other thing my dad did was he trenched all the way around the house and put in termite and insect pesticide, I guess you would call it, and then covered it up because he didn't want the dog to be able to get into it. And it's actually doing a really great job. You can tell because there's dead cockroaches along the side of my house. So I am glad the cockroaches are not getting into my house. That is accurate. Here's Daisy and Oreo. I've been giving them food. I threw over a bunch of food for dinner, so that's why they're looking at me expectantly. Okay, so coming through the backyard, my mom's got these little stepping stone. My scooter over there. Oreo, I'm all out. Hey, Daisy. Oh no, do I smell like trees? Yes. Here was where there was an old clothesline. So there was one sticking up in the back, and then there's just the broken post here. Came out. Here's Daisy's following me. And here's my lovely fence of poison ivy and another ivy that my mom is allergic to. And some greenbrier. This right here, one of my friends, Curran, was telling me what all of this is. He's really good with plants. So that's a greenbrier. This is poison ivy. We took the bag out of, or there was a plastic bag that was floating in the tree. I liked it floating, but I figured why the ladder was here, I should take it down. So I came down. Here's the clothesline and a fence line that was out here. So I need to figure out what to do with that. Set up a little sitting area, and then we've done tons of lights. So these lights are solar. My brother helped me put those up. You can't really tell in the dark or in the light, but there is a solar, if you can see up there, that's the solar panel that goes to lights. There's just 12 of them. We've got some lights here that I put up. These are solar, which look really cool at night. And then these up here, little Texas lights, if you can see. Those also look cool at night. The deck has been washed and recoated, which I found out you have to do yearly. I did not know decks took so much work. Apparently that's why my dad got rid of our deck in the backyard. My dad also put in this light. It was one of the things they stayed an extra day to do because it's so dark out here. And at night, when you're standing in the door, you just can't really see outside at all. And so they really wanted a light just for safety. And so he's actually put in 2 switches, one for the light and one in case at some point I want to put a fan or something outside. So the wires are there, the switch is there, it just needs to be hooked up. The other big kind of project outside was the laundry room. Here, this was kind of cracked, and it was PVC out in a Texas sun, and so I replaced it with that. It's got a little, I don't know if you can see this, it's a little cage so that pests can't get up in there, little rodents or anything that can't get up. But on the inside, I need to figure out which key goes to the door. The inside, it's just the tube that's been redone. I washed this all down with TSP, and my parents actually painted it one day. This is the free paint, the flat paint from City of Austin. So it came out beautiful. It's more of a bluish color in person, but I think it's super pretty. I wish it weren't a flat, because I would have used it in my whole house if it weren't flat, but it's flat, so I didn't. I just put the same plate back up. I kind of cleaned them off and put them up. Back here, there were tons of spider eggs. They're like these little white eggs. They were so gross, but those are cleaned out. I washed this off with a hose and shop vacuumed it. My dad has reattached these 2 tubes that were kind of falling down. What we think is going on here, I dropped my phone. What we think is going on there is there's one high tube and one low tube, so hot air rises. They've got 2 different tubes to kind of suck up hot air. I guess that's what's going on. Right. I'm gonna start my first load of laundry. I may switch this door down here to open on the right, so this can go over a little bit more. But yeah. I'll wash the dryer. And then my mom did a lot of potting. So this is my trumpet plant. Some other plants. They brought patio furniture from my grandmother's house. She is in a senior center right now. Or senior, I don't know what to call them. But so she's got like an apartment living. So they sold her house and I got her a furniture. So that's what's happening out here. The other kind of big task is replacing all of the locks. You can see I've done one of them, but not the other one. I've done most of the locks around the house. And I found out that when you're at the store, they've got little codes on the back, little stickers that will tell you which locks match. So I got 2 sets of 2 locks, so 4 locks total, that all have the same number on the back, which means the same key will open all of my outdoor locks, which is super handy that I don't have to have 2 locks of one and then 2 locks of the other one. So anyway, my parents, when they left this morning, they saw some people trying doors, so it's a good thing I've got some new locks, and I'll have to be pretty vigilant about keeping my locks locked. Here's my 2 little switches. We did it after we did the mudding of the wall, so it's not quite mudded and fixed up yet. That'll be an easy job. Inside, they also did a ton of work. My favorite thing is these wires. I don't know what gauge they are, but if I want to take the curtains up, I can roll them up and stick them in the wire. It's a Bill Dumont solution. Very creative, using minimal effort. So that's for the curtains. It won't be for forever. Here's the painting of, or the print of Austin that I got. So that's been patched up. Everything that got patched and mudded and joint compounded has been texturized and painted over. There's some, oops, that's the dog's water. There's some pretty big repairs that we did. All of the corners were basically had cracks down it, so those all got painted up too. You can see it is 80 degrees in here. I just got in. This light has been changed. None of the other ones have. That one, I tried the new lights that I bought. I didn't like them, so I'm gonna buy some different lights that are a little bit more flush mounted. This is painted, all of this is painted. The trimming, my dad, or Lauren and I actually pulled that out, and my dad sanded and painted them. I had some friends over on Monday, Memorial Day, and they helped paint all of the rooms, so all of the rooms are freshly painted. The trimming has not yet been painted, so that needs to be done. There is an outlet or 2 on every wall. There's so many outlets in here. It's insane. The bathroom has yet to be painted, but my dad fixed the toilet so that it runs better, put a new clapper valve in there. We've cleaned off the vent. I'm still probably going to replace the vent. I decided not to replace the bathtub just because it's cast iron, it's super heavy. I actually really like the look of this old bathtub. It cleaned up pretty well, and since I like the look of old stuff, I'm gonna leave the bathtub in there. All the floors have been mopped, swept, mopped many times because there was a lot of bugs and cockroach stuff that came out from underneath the walls, but that's all mopped up. These floors, anywhere there's a crack, My dad took my brother's angle grinder, and ground it down. I think my parents did this one day. They said it went actually surprisingly fast. I was not here for that, but so that is nice and prepped for the flooring to come in. There used to be grout all over the floor, which we scraped up, mostly my dad, a little bit me. We chipped it out of here, got it ready for the flooring person to go to just lay down the flooring. And then there were nails in the rooms that had carpet. So it looked like the 3 bedrooms had carpeting. And so we popped up all the nails. You can really just take a crowbar and get in there and pop them up. So it's looking pretty good. It's looking really good. I thought when they came that maybe we would get the walls prepped. I thought the floors were ready to go, so it's surprising to me that we did so much floor work. But my dad really wanted them to be able to come in and put down the flooring because he thought that they just, they come down and do it, so anything that's on the floor is going to stick up and you're going to be able to feel through the floor or through the boards. So spent more time than I expected doing the flooring. Probably about the time that I expected doing all of the wall. There's lots of patches everywhere. And it was nice to have somebody to kind of talk it through, to be like, hey, I think this needs a patch, or I think this we can just like do with the netting. There's like a mesh you put over cracks that are like 2 inches or less. So some of the places just got mesh, some got full patches. My dad's really good at cutting the patches out and getting them mudded in. And then of course you sand them down and it's really dusty, and then you remud them, and then you sand them down again, and then texturize, and then paint. And so there's just so many things that happen with the wall, which is something that I don't have a ton of patience for, but it's nice when you got people helping you. Yeah, and you just kind of, clean the walls. Lauren and I TSP'd the walls. I TSP'd this whole, the whole stove, the fridge, some of the tile. I still need to clean out vents and finish putting up the rest of the outlet plates and finish the locks. So there's still a lot to do. Buy lights, install lights, buy the fan, install the fan. At some point I'll probably fix the drywall around the AC vent over there because it's not looking great. So there'll be a lot of little fun things to do around the house, but it's in really good shape, and there's so much that we did this week. It's hard to even imagine. It's like hard to look at this place and think it's the same place, because to me this place looks like this cute little Italian villa or something with these like really old cabinets, which I just love, the old cabinets with the scallop here. I think that's great. I am still pretty concerned about the watermark on the wall that's moving over. We got up there and we looked at it, we couldn't see anything leaking. It's super hot up there in the attic. So my dad did put up some more insulation there, and he put more insulation over where that access is, but there's really no space in the attic, so you can't actually get up there. It's really just like to be able to get up and see, which is why we cut such a big hole here to be able to get up there and try to look for a leak. So to be honest, if it leaks when it rains, yeah, I would have to get up there like when it rains or immediately after. I mean, I think if it rains and then this water spot grows, we'll know that it's from the roof, not from a plumbing leak. But I'll just have to wait until it rains, which in Texas is going to be like never. So that's my house. There's so many changes here. I'm excited for next Thursday when the flooring comes in. And for tonight, I'm going to be camping a little bit. You can see my luggage there. Airbed in the first room. So that's going to be what I do tonight. So anyway, hope your Friday is going just as fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I mean, can we put it away from the house so we don't see it?
Sun's over there.
Container. That's a vegan elote.
Go get a bigger box. Figure out how to get it in there. You gotta have an inspector code after this, or what's the rule here?